There's so many things I need to say. Hey, Bible friends, Austin here. Seems there's some interest in the Apocrypha, so I thought I'd make, did I say Apocrypha? Hey, Bible friends, Austin here. It seems that there's some interest in the Apocrypha, so I thought I'd make a video telling you all what it is and what it's not, and where you can find it and read it. So I've got show and tell today. I've got 5 sources here. 2 of these are Septuagints. Then I have the New Revised Standard Version, a King James Version, and then a 1611 King James Version. But before we get into those, I wanted to put some questions and answers on the screen. So if you're watching this and you're interested in Apocrypha, but you really don't know what it is, these questions and answers will kind of clear that up a little bit. Our first question is, it's kind of a 2-part question. What does the Apocrypha mean, and what is it? Well, it used to mean hidden. So it was like the hidden canon or the hidden scriptures. But in modern times, it's taken on the meaning of false or false canon. What is the Apocrypha? Well, it is writings that some claim to be inspired scripture and some claim that it is not. We'll get to that in a minute. But many scholars claim that it was written by the Jewish people during that 400 period between the Testaments, so between Malachi and roughly the time that Jesus was born. All right, our second question is, why isn't it in our Bibles today, and is it inspired? It is in some Bibles today, as I've got a stack of them here, but the reason most publishers don't include it anymore is because the Apocrypha contains clear historical errors and odd things like in the book of Tobit, that you can use a fish heart to repel the devil, or some kind of, it's almost like some kind of witchcraft concoction or some kind of witch's brew. It's just odd, but that's why most Protestants, most scholars, and even the Jewish rabbis didn't, and even today don't count it as inspired scripture. There are a couple of churches that do think that it is inspired scripture, and that is the Catholic Church and the Orthodox Church. Now, I'm not sure how many or which actual books that they claim to be inspired. I looked it up and tried to do a little bit of research on it, but I got several different answers, so I figured that I wouldn't even mention it here. But so if we have any Catholic viewers or Orthodox viewers, if you'd be so kind to put that in the comments and school the rest of us that are unsure. But I definitely didn't want to put something on here that's not true. Okay, I got a fun fact for you. The Apocrypha was in the King James Bible up until the late 1800s, and it was placed between the Old Testament and the New Testament, and that process of putting it between the Testaments began in 1534 with the Lutheran Bible. All right, enough facts and enough questions and answers. Let's take a look at these. The first one I'm going to show you is, this is a facsimile of the King James Bible 1611 edition, and I'll go to the overhead here in a second and just kind of do a flip through while I talk about it. And this is not going to be Bible reviews per se. It's just going to be talking about the parts of these Bibles that pertain to the Apocrypha only. So this is a really neat Bible. It's probably, I mean, you might even consider it a collector's item. It's pretty inexpensive, and I'm glad that Thomas Nelson is printing this, and they have it in a couple different colors, couple different colors and covers. They're all like a leather soft. One of the drawbacks to this, as you can see, is that the print is kind of hard to read, even though they've updated from the Gothic to a modern print. It's still kind of hard to read just because it's so small of print. All right, let's go on to another Thomas Nelson Bible, and this one is well, I guess you could say a modern King James. It's what you would normally buy today, but it has the Apocrypha, and it has it between the Testaments as does the 1611 edition. Yeah, so if you don't like the 1611 Apocrypha edition, then this would probably be the route to go, because you're going to get the regular, I guess you could say, normal spellings. So this one has a nice readable print. Now, one of the differences between this one and the 1611 is this more modern King James has 3rd Maccabees in it. And I'll show you at the end of this video, I'll show you all a full comparison of what books are included in which Bibles. And then next up is the New Revised Standard Version. And this is the New Revised Standard Version UE, which means updated edition. Seems a little redundant. New Revised Standard Version, updated edition. Okay, I digress. Okay, I do have to say, I'm not going to, like I said before, I'm not doing Bible reviews, but this is the nicest Bible that I have that contains the Apocrypha. This is 36 GSM paper, kind of a plum, maybe red colored accent, text accents throughout, and print size is 10. It's sewn binding, and it contains more apocryphal books than and it contains more apocryphal books than the 2 King James that I just showed you, namely 4th Maccabees and Psalm 151. And then it even has extra chapters in Esther that the others don't. And the book order is a little bit different. Like I said, though, I'll show you a comparison at the end, and so you'll be able to compare each one. Okay, now let's get into the Septuagints. The first up is, oh, I got the wrong one here. The first up is the Lexham English Septuagint. You may have seen this one before in my top 6 for 2026 video that I made. And the Septuagint, this Septuagint, Lexham is, well, I should say the Septuagint is only the Old Testament, and you'll see why. I just correct myself here in a minute. But the Apocrypha is a little bit different when it comes in the Septuagint. It's intermingled throughout the books. So like in these here I showed you, the King James and the New Revised Standard Version, they placed it in between the Old and New Testament. Well, in the Septuagint, they don't do that. It's mingled in. And you can see on the screen, I'll show you right here. So I'll give you an example. Esdras, it's hard to say, comes between Chronicles and Psalms. Okay, next one, or final one. Not only the next one, but the final one is Orthodox Study Bible. And this is an interesting character here because it's based on the New King James Version. So this contains the Old and New Testament. Excuse me. That's why I said I had to correct myself, because this Septuagint is only the Old Testament. Most Septuagints you get are only going to be the Old Testament. But this is a Septuagint which contains the New King James New Testament. And from what I understand, they took the New King James Version Old Testament, or the Masoretic text, and then wherever the Septuagint differed with it, then they went with the Septuagint in that. But they kept the translation style as the New King James Version. And the thing about, another thing with the Orthodox Study Bible, or they call it the OSB for short, is it does the same thing as the Septuagint. It intermingles the books with the Old Testament. So it's not, sandwiched between. So if you're used to a Protestant Bible, the order is going to be, in the Old Testament, is going to be different in this and the Lexham Septuagint. All right, let me put that comparison on the screen for you. And I can't really say that I have a favorite of these, but I can kind of make some recommendations that if you're looking for an easier to read translation, if you're not fond of the King James and you're looking for an easier to read translation, but you don't want the Apocrypha intermingled with your Old Testament, then I would go with the New Revised Standard Version. I'll probably get some flack for saying the New Revised Standard Version or recommending it, but this one here, this Bible here, is inexpensive on Amazon. It's got a really nice, I'm not sure, is this Zondervan? I'm going to say leather touch. I'll put it on the screen if I was wrong. It's like leather touch, leather-like, leather soft. Leather soft is maybe it's leather soft. Maybe it's leather soft. I know Thomas Nelson. Guys, I'm having trouble talking today. Thomas Nelson is leather soft, and I think Zondervan, some of Zondervan is leather soft also. Anyway, I'm starting to confuse myself. This is the one I recommend. There we go. Because it has great paper, 36 GSM, the 2-color text accents, nice cover, and the Apocrypha is in between the Testaments, plus it's easy to read and easy to understand. Next, second best, I guess you could say, that I would recommend, I guess it would be between the Lexham and the Orthodox Study Bible. I'm trying not to turn this into a Bible review, but the Orthodox Study Bible is pretty neat. It's geared towards the Orthodox Church congregation, but it's got some interesting things in it, and it's based on the New King James, so that might be my pick. All right, guys. I hope I didn't confuse you more than you than you were when you first came here. Y'all have a great day. I'm praying for you all. Take care. Bye.